There's something we seriously need to talk about today, and it is the death of influencer boxing. The past 2 days have proved that ICB is not going to hold up. First, it started off with iDubbbz revealing Creator Clash only did 50K pay-per-views, and they have a loss of $250,000. That is massive, meaning that Creator Clash 3 is probably not going to happen. But then after that, a day later, Kingpyn Boxing has just filed for bankruptcy. So this means that influencer boxing is seriously on a downward spiral. Now that all remains is MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, and Misfits Boxing, run by the heads of influencer boxing themselves, KSI and Jake Paul. Which I do find interesting. At the end of the day, the two ones that run are MVP and Misfits. But at the same time, you also got to take into account that these past organizations do not have a parent company. iDubbbz and Creator Clash don't have a parent company. Social Gloves, for as much as faults as Austin had, that did not have a parent company either. Showstar, which is Kingpyn, didn't have a parent company either. So all three of those that fell, didn't have a parent company funding these projects. They did it all by themselves.
Hey, Zane from the future here. It seems like that statement might be 1,000% correct due to the fact that accordingly, MVP and Jake are coming in and saying with multiple tweets that Kingpyn lives on, that they are stepping in, and reports with The Zone has also said the same thing, which just proves my point even more, solely because now we have the parent company of The Zone funding Kingpyn reportedly. So it would make sense to my point that these corporations can't live without a parent company, but now Kingpyn has it. Hopefully, I hope this isn't just kind of Jake trying to cash in on the free advertising of Kingpyn falling. But still, at the same time, if it happens, good, more ICB, but still, it's still probably going to fall, and I'll explain why in the rest of the video. Now enjoy.
Including Social Knockout, which is basically dead. Nothing really happened with what's going on there. And Social Gloves, as much as they want to say they're going to come back, it's dead. It's done. It's in the water. Especially after Austin lost on Kingpyn. But this just means that influencer boxing is not what it used to be, and it's really just a battle of the organizations now, the two ones with the parent company that can run. Misfits, the shady business, the one where elbows are okay and you got fucking robberies left, right, and center, and also kind of dangerous ideas like tag teams and stuff. As much as they are entertaining, and I really can't wait for Swarms to win that tag team brawl of Survivor Tag and everything, it's still pretty dangerous. Then you got MVP, the more classy, the more in the actual boxing realm that all the other influencer cards don't have, because Jake actually, for all of his faults, he actually did take initiative and he brought people in. Young prospects like Ashton Silve, big champions like Amanda Serrano, and then you got some other influencers that people were really interested in, like Dr. Mike and Levon Bell, before he went into Misfits. So, really, it's all down to those two now, because how can you run another organization for all this influencer stuff if it's just going to crash and burn the next day or the next month? I'm really gutted about Kingpyn because I really wanted to do a live stream on that event. That event is something that I really felt passionate about, and I felt so excited, and introduced me to new people, and it brought me closer to people I already knew in the scene. Like, for example, my mate Nate. I made the video on him, and you guys really seemed to like it. He commented on it, really warmed my heart, and just seeing him, like getting to know him, and like understanding his story of like everything was just really close to me, and it really meant a lot getting introduced into that creator. With people like Barbie, I got to know her more. I got to see her actually fight for once instead of Fangs and her fucking all chitty chatter and then getting knocked out by Elena Vampirina and everything. And yeah, Barbie did awesome, and I really can't wait for her next fight. But it's gonna be a while from now because Kingpyn's now canceled. Kingpyn did a lot of good things. The one thing it didn't do was, I guess, keep money. So it just really makes me think, like, what can we do to really fix this? Is this the end of influencer boxing? And the answer is yes. After KSI versus Tommy Fury, and how KSI is definitely going to lose by what I'm predicting is a 4th round knockout. He is going to be begging on his hands and knees to fight Jake. And that is going to be the final influencer boxing fight. Jake versus KSI, and they're going to battle for the Fury rematch. But once it's done, it's done. It's just done. It's just done. When inevitably Jake wins by most likely decision or TKO, influencer boxing will be over. And Jake is still going to do his thing, but it's not going to be as popular because the rivalry of KSI and Jake Paul would be over. I never wanted to admit this, especially when I was a Misfits fan and I saw that they got 5 more years approved. Yes, we got 5 more years. We got people in the scene still being put out there. There's still hope on like W.A.D.E and Dean like continuing the scene and stuff like that after Poppy lost, and there's still a lot of people in there in Misfits and MVP that are exciting to watch, but it's never going to be the same. And it's clear from these 2 experiences that we're already starting the end of ICB, which is really disappointing because, as I have always said, I want to be on an influencer boxing card. I want to be on it. I want to fight. I want to put my all into it. I want to like show myself for who I can be. And I will still do that, no matter if it's an amateur fight or if it's like a small boxing card with like some like young prospect that is like 4-1 or something like that. I will prove myself and I will fight eventually, but it's not going to be on one of these big cards, and it's kind of gutting because like I'm just like, oh shit, my whole plan of wanting to fight on one of these cards is basically done now. Because, like I said, Misfits is still going to run, but what do you got there? You got robberies, you got illegal shots, you got so many different things happening that aren't okay. MVP, you got, it's run by Jake, and also just like, it's mostly just kind of a, I don't know. If anything, MVP is kind of alright. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the worst. I can't think of any bad things to say, but I also can't think of any good things to say other than how professionally they run their events and everything, and how they really are kind of bringing up the newer type of fighters. But, and I guess Misfits does the same, but still, it's still skewed with like their whole how they run things and everything. But end of the day, it's really gutting that influencer boxing is on the downward spiral. I do believe by 2024, I don't think that influencer boxing is going to be really anything but a memory once Jake Paul knocks out KSI. It's just not there. It's just not there. It's not going to be here. It's just going to be distant memory. Like, oh, you remember the times when KSI was going to fight Logan Paul and we all thought Logan Paul would win, but KSI won. Oh, you remember when, like, Jake Paul was going to take on Tommy Fury, but then he lost. But everyone thought he would win because of Tommy Fury, like, ducking. Oh, you remember when Jarvis, the video game kid, was going to fight AnEsonGib, someone who, like, transmitted all of his energy into himself and, like, changed and became one of the biggest top fighters in the influencer boxing scene? You remember that? And remember how people said Jarvis might pull this off and win because of how much he improved with Mayweather? It's just obvious. It's fucking obvious that this is gonna all go, and it's really depressing because think of how far we've come. How far we have come in the past few months, the past year, with after Misfits was created, after Creator Clash 1 and everything, and we just came so far. And we technically brought that hype back that was kind of missing during the start of the COVID years. We brought it back, but now it's fading. It's gone. So, yeah, let's just enjoy the time we have left. I'm switching this watch party for Kingpyn. This will be the official announcement. I didn't delete it, but I'm switching it to August 5th as we watch Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. And, yeah, it should be a wild and fun ride. And I hope to see you there. And let's just enjoy the final times of influencer boxing together. So, yeah.